Yesterday, I was in my ego, in the flesh, and grace. Feeling good is easy when you've done everything right. When you haven't, it just humbles you. So, then I read, in the end times, many will be deceived because the love of many will grow cold. Now, yesterday, I was needing love and grace more than on other days. So I ran to the Lord. I pleaded. I begged. But the Lord doesn't answer with a voice out of heaven most of the time. He uses people. And someone just gave me a like on a normal comment. And that was exactly what I needed. It showed grace. It showed, I'm here. I'm hearing you. I'm supporting. I know what you are going through. And I thought of many people that grow up without love. And that grow up where they feel like so much injustice, unfairness has been done. There was no one to comfort them. There's no one to care, to offer a word of kindness, to give just a bean, a can of beans at times, 3 or 4 eggs. And there was no one. Now, it's difficult when others are constantly asking for money, for food. You realize that is also not your job to constantly give to others, because the wise virgin says, no, we will not have enough for ourselves, so go for yourself and buy. So it is ideal to always be connected, to always be in the spirit. And this morning we saw a picture in our prayer group where we just like, just human beings loving on one another, giving grace, laughing together. And we saw that we are like these mummies that walk around covered in plastic wrapping. And it's only plastic that is between us and our promised land. Now, if you think of Joshua and Caleb, there were giants in the land, like real huge giants. Their heads were as big as a hill. So it was like, ah! And you know what was behind Joshua and Caleb? 40 years in the desert. 40 years of failure. Where Moses helped them. He was their example. They came, the previous generation, from slavery. That was their past. Now suddenly there is this promise of exceedingly abundantly more than what you can ask or imagine. And they can't imagine, if they look back at their past, what this will be like. They've got the choice, believe or unbelief. Help me, Lord, in my unbelief. If I look at the giants, I look to His word and to His spirit and to His power. then the plastic wrapping leaves. It's like Lot's wife. If you look back at past mistakes, at 40 years in the desert, at whatever came before, you start to become bitter. You start to be discouraged. You start to complain. You start to let the harshness of everything that you faced get into you. That plastic wrapping can literally close your airways, can close off the spirit. It becomes your protection. Plastic gives off estrogen. Estrogen is not good, especially for men, for their testosterone. Testosterone. Also not for women. Too much estrogen. It's not good for anyone. And that is what we find with all of this plastic. Plastic is non-degradable. So you have to burn it up. You have to change the element. Purifying fires. Where you see those giants and you're like, oh, this is my promised land. You have to behold the spiritual more than the physical circumstances for your reality to change. So, we've all been mummies walking around like corpses. Ay, ay, ay. Trying to help others. Each one is responsible for his or her own choice. And yet, we can be the courageous ones like Joshua and Caleb that says to others, we'll make it, we'll make it. We can be the ones to lead the whole nation to take in their promised land because we have faith. We're unaffected by the giants because unless there are 2 people at least that have faith, a whole nation is needed as an army to fight another army. May we be the ones that uplifts, that says all things are possible. Doesn't matter what happened to you today. Doesn't matter if you've spent 40 years in the desert. Morning endures for the night. I don't know how long your night has been, but joy comes in the morning. And Kathy Zadai said, in the morning, it's when you've mourned and wept. And then all of that turns to joy, as blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. We are all like sick people in a hospital. Those that think that they aren't sick don't need a doctor. And so, this morning we were supposed to pray for 1 hour, but we laughed so much about these plastic mummies that we prayed for 2 hours and we were joyful, loving on one another. May that be your experience today. Love, joy, grace, peace to you. Have a wonderful day.